It's actually kind of interesting. Everyone's really young, relatively mature for their
It ages you. Yeah. Go through like 5-6 years worth of failure in like such a condensed period of time.
Yeah.
When you don't have hobbies, your emotion is entirely dependent on how well the company is doing.
You know, you always hear about this new $5 million company started by some 18-year-old, but you don't actually see what they're doing. Today, I'm visiting one of my friends who works for a startup called Clado.ai. For sure, their average age is like 19, and they're YC backed. I'm gonna give you guys a behind-the-scenes look at, what do they do, talking to the founders, and yeah. Also, just a quick side note, I just walked into some deli to get a sandwich, and I was able to get this giant ass, good-looking sandwich for like $10 using my EBT. Bro, if I can get that using my EBT, then literally move me into SF right now. Like damn, that shit look good. So when you walk in here, this is their lobby. Pretty bougie stuff. Go up the stairs. What's up? This is the office. Getting ready for a demo video. It's their conference room area. So
We can just start off with in 60 seconds, who are you? Like your name and then just whatever you want to say.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I'm Eric. I was born in Shanghai. Moved to Toronto when I was 8. Spent 10 years there. That's where I met my co-founder. So we went to elementary, middle, high school together. And then
In Shanghai?
No, in Toronto.
Oh, okay.
And then I came to the US last June for college. So I spent the semester at Penn studying CS and finance.
What did you do before Clado?
Well, I was in school, but we were last summer. I actually really didn't want to go to school, so I really wanted to take a gap year. So last summer, a high school friend and I, we went out to Miami to do this other startup accelerator. It was much smaller deal size, low 5 figures. But yeah, we went there for the idea and we just got cooked the entire summer. We pivoted around 3-4 industries. Eventually had a co-founder breakup, which was fine. But that entire summer, we're basically only talking to customers, and our approach is just we can just ask someone what their biggest problem is and how much they'd be willing to pay for it. Then we can find one person's willing to pay the product, and then 2 and 3, and so on and so forth. But yeah, that was how I spent last summer, and then it didn't end up working out, so I went to Penn for a semester.
So this is your first time properly in SF?
Yeah, it's my first time.
How has the contrast been just living in SF now?
It's good. Generally speaking, in college there's not a lot of hyper ambitious people, and certainly not a lot of people that would say it out loud. One of the things that I thought of when I was choosing whether to leave or not, it was pretty obvious because I probably was pretty biased at the time because I just really wanted to leave. But one of the things I was one of the situations I was thinking about was take top 10% of outcomes at Penn. And that was pretty good. Only a quant job probably, give or take. For my major at least. So if I was in that position senior year, so 4 years from now, and I also had an offer to do YC and build my own thing, which one would I take? I would still take YC. So what am I doing? At Penn. That was and the other thing is there's not a lot of people that I would switch places with, where I really looked up to them on campus.
That's interesting, because the average person that would probably watch my videos, which is my friends, I don't have a following or anything, but they usually associate this type of stuff with just huge risk. But it seems to be very logical. It makes sense.
It's pretty easy decision framework. It's just is there anybody that I would switch places with that's graduating soon? No. Okay. And then I come here and it's just every week I feel I'm just it's crazy imposter syndrome, and you go to YC, you're just oh my god, all these people are just crazy better than me. And that's kind of where you want to be and what you want to feel, because otherwise you just don't get that much better.
What do you think about people saying that YC has kind of fallen off over time?
As far as I know, YC and the Ivy Leagues and the top tier universities, they're people always say they've fallen off, but they don't really understand the reason why it was good in the first place. YC doesn't give you some magical advice that all of a sudden just your revenue 10x's, or your customers get you find product market fit because of something that they say. That's not that's not what that is. It's just you get a group of people when you first get to San Francisco, otherwise it would have been incredibly lonely. And also you get someone that has already been through the process of making a unicorn, and then he will comment on your decisions, and you can choose to listen to those comments or not. So like for us, our partner was P. Kuman, and he gave us some great feedback. Like one of the things that we were trying to decide between when we first got into YC was because we had another pre-seed offer where it was for the same amount, it was $500K at 5 mil. So it would have been the exact same deal essentially as YC. But we really wanted to go with YC because we were we're first time founders. So we're gonna make some really dumb mistakes. And we want someone there to kind of just be like, oh, you shouldn't be doing this. And then they could be wrong, they could be right. But we want someone there to where we check in with every weekend, and then they'll give us their honest opinion on what we're doing and how they do that. I think that's really all the value there. It's not gonna magically turn you into some crazy company. It's just you're the same person you go in as you come out, but it's just it's just nice to have a group of people. And I think in that front, YC does that incredibly well.
So now that that cohort is over, how do you think YC has helped Clado?
It also easily just doubles your valuation. Right. That's.
Do you think there's part of that actually might be bad thing because there might be this fallacy of fake success that might lead people to?
I don't actually believe that. I feel like a lot of people say oh, you should fear you should actively take a really low valuation or something and then move down round. I don't it's just if you don't believe your company valuation will 3x on the next 12 months, why are you even building a startup, right? It's not I think venture is just you just take big risks, right? And I don't think we raised at a crazy high valuation. It was just probably double what it would have been if we had tried to raise on our own without YC.
Okay, kind of a hot take, but I do agree with that actually. Cool. Other than that, how did your parents react to this whole thing?
They were not happy with the other pre-seed deal, but they were okay with YC because.
Do they know what YC was?
Yeah, they already knew what YC was.
Oh, okay.
So I actually made it very easy. That was the other point. Yeah, I've actually had other groups tell me this. They're just oh, I needed to get into YC just so my parents would let me leave college. It was not the case for me. They weren't super happy with the other one, but it would have been fine. But yeah, with YC they were neutral. So yeah. I also fully didn't go to class all of the second semester. So by that point I already had So when I got into YC, it was really weird. It was mid-semester, so I forgot to press the withdraw button. I ended up with a 0.0 this semester actually. So I think my average GPA now is a 1.8. So
that's so funny.
Yeah.
Are you also gonna try and get rescinded and then go viral?
No.
Kidding. Here's a good question. Do you have a girlfriend?
No.
Do you think that's helped?
Yeah, I don't really have an opinion. I will say though, I think it helped a lot during high school. Maybe that's different. Going into college and beyond. But yeah, it's really never been top of mind for me because just I tend to think the best will attract the best. So I first have to be really good first, and then I'll start thinking about that.
That's a good mindset. Yeah. Makes sense. Then what hobbies do you have outside of when you're working?
Yeah, it's not hobbies. Yeah.
Do you think other founders should also kind of follow that type of regimen or no?
No. I think it was fine for YC. It's gonna be fine for this summer, but after this, we're really switching into the long-term perspective here, right? We're gonna be here for 6 to 8 years. It's gonna be a big chunk of my life. So when we first got into YC, it was a little bit semester in SF. You kind of come here. If it works out, great. Doesn't work out, okay. No, you go back to school. Now, we're very of the perspective that we're fully gonna be here for a very long time. So. You can kind of be in the grind set for a year or two, 10 years. It's a bit much. So yeah, hobbies are important. So okay. I that's something I'm working on actively.
Nice. Okay. I think that's also important for a lot of people. Since you're kind of projecting you're gonna be here for a while, do you think you're gonna miss the college experience, or do you miss it at all?
No, I don't miss it at all.
Why is that?
I was just never a big fan of parties. I went to a couple in the first semester, and I was just awkwardly standing there, in the corner and then it would be that 20 minutes, and then I'll leave. So
what was your opinion of people that did go to parties, or there's people that even know
it's fine,
addicted to go to parties?
I just personally don't understand it, but I'm sure it's fun for some people. I just have a very hard time fitting in socially. So. yeah, it was not like first semester was not like incredibly great for me. So when I got here, all the all the founders around here, and especially like the ones in my age range are like incredibly cool people. So like it's I actually have a much easier time fitting in here than in college.
Yeah, it's actually kind of interesting. Everyone's really young, but like relatively mature for their age, which is pretty interesting.
It ages you, because you like go through, because you go through a bunch of like highs and lows. Like I would call it like.
What do you think about like failing desensitizing you? Has that like?
Yeah, certainly.
That's insane, right?
Just like you just go through just like you go through like 5-6 years worth of failure in like such a condensed period of time.
Yeah.
And the other thing is when you don't have hobbies, your emotion is entirely dependent on how well the company is doing, which is not good in the long run. But like in the short run, it kind of just like it teaches you to be a little bit more like balanced and like not too like swayed by bad things that happen sometimes.
I think that was a good interview.
Yeah. All right. Appreciate it.
Yep. We're here at Clado. This is
Kia.
She is.
I'm a founding member at the Clado team.
Cool. So who are you? Just tell me a little bit about yourself.
Perfect. So I'm 22 and I'm like the most senior person on the team, which is like such a weird feeling. I was born in China, grew up in Korea, lived in Hawaii for a really long time, and that's where I went to university. I studied finance in university, and I really wanted to become like venture capital was my dream career. And basically in college, I worked for a lot of student funds and like students investing in students. And that's how I discovered Eric, because he was one of the companies when it was just linked, like literally just him and an idea, and launched for like 2 schools where they were like allowing students to scrape the entire internet for alumni networks, for coffee chats or get internships.
Cool.
And I just remember like first time meeting the guy and I'm just like, oh my God, like he just sounds really smart and I love the idea of what he's doing. Like I can see myself working with this guy in the future. And that was one of my criteria when I evaluate startups. I was like, would I spend 5 or more years working with this person? And up until that point, like I feel like nobody just met my criteria that well. Like I didn't even talk to him for that long, but I could just tell there's something here.
What is like your day-to-day like here? Like run it from before you're even in the office and then like, so, I know every day must be different, right?
Okay, so. Every day, it's pretty much, for me, it's pretty much like, I like to have a schedule, and my work schedule is like completely different from the team. And what that means is like, I will wake up at like 6 or 6:30 in the morning, do my morning workout, and just like come to office around 8 or 9. And I work until 9 or 10:30, and I go home.
Why is it so different from like the rest of the team?
Because the rest of the team normally comes into office at like 1 or 2 and work until like like AM, like.
Oh damn.
So but.
And there's no reason for that. It's just like people show up whenever they want to.
No, it's more so because I think for developers, you get like a lot of them get really productive work done when it's late at night.
Everyone's average age is like what, like 20 or something.
Our average age is 19.
It's like 19.
Even including me.
That's insane. Yeah.
Yeah.
How do you think that like affects the team? Does it help? Does it not?
I love it. Okay, first of all, I think everybody on the team is really mature. So when I'm with the team, I never feel like, I'm like the oldest, or like I never feel like weird about our age. They're so mature to the point, it's like sometimes I don't even feel like I'm old. And on top of that, I think I like this, like when you're younger, there's more ambition and more drive.
Yeah. And
I think when you're building a company, that naiveness is really important. So I personally really enjoy working with a young team rather than working with somebody who's like 40 and 50, because experience will come, and I think mentorship is important. But I'd rather have a bunch of like people who I can call friend and build towards the future that we want.
It must also be more fun.
Yeah.
Okay. What is the scariest part about working at a startup?
The scariest part was just the unknown. Like not knowing what SF was going to be like, not knowing what startup is like, and not really having that much, we're all doing this for the first time. This is all of our first company. So not really knowing how it's going to go, like what's going to happen. That part is pretty scary, but I think that's also what makes it really exciting. I think the other part is, I think before I moved here, the part that I was most scared of, I was just like, what if I don't get along with the team? Because who you work with is so important,
Yeah.
It's like when you go to school, if you really like a teacher, you probably tend to do better in that class.
Yeah.
But after I got here, I was like, everybody's so chill, and I fell in love with like working with them already, and it's only my 2nd week.
Okay, so 2 weeks in and you're here. Are you still like scared of anything right now?
Not really. Not anything that I have control over. Yeah.